I just left my computer and came back and just watched this guy smashing flowers. Also, evidently, they've planted a bunch of flowers. Minecraft AI becomes gardeners. He's not even scoring anything for it, and now he's staring at a block. Hey, I'm Matt with Schematical, and I'm totally rocking the quarantine hair today, but we'll get through this. So, a couple things I want to talk about today. First thing is that weird flower stuff. They made a total garden. They kind of glitched out the game a bit, but I gave them what's called discovery scoring, which I'll show you guys in a minute. And yeah, they totally glitched out the garden. Another thing we did is we added to the action buffer, that thing I was talking about last week, where we're making further progress on it. We added an item net as well, so that's kind of cool, and I'll get into that. And then we've got the usual for you. The usual clips from the week. All sorts of crazy stuff happened. So without further ado, let's get to it. Wow, look at this. This is crazy. Look, they got the red flowers over here. They got the white flowers over there. Lawn mowing over here. Look at him, he's holding a pretty blue flower. Oh. This is just one of those things you just never predict that they would do. I can't wait to see what this looks like by morning. Look at them just mowing the lawn here. Not a second wasted. Just going. Imagine if I up their scan distance. That's a Gen 2. Imagine where they're going to be at Gen 10. I don't know, is he dropping flowers? Is he digging flowers? Can't tell. Yeah, there's one placing it and picking them back up over and over again, so they can clearly place and they can clearly pick back up. So this is what's happening. They are somehow glitching out the items and putting them back and creating an entire field of flowers. And I did not program to do this. This guy scored a 50. Wow, this is crazy. This is amazing. You can't dig water, silly. And back to assassinating flowers. Just ignore these white boxes there. But what? Okay, it's definitely a glitch. How? What? How did that get up there? One more quick thing before I forget is that they actually did the jump and place a block under you to raise you up in the air for the first time. I've never seen them do that before. So that's a cool clip. I'll show you right now. I think I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it again. I'm going to add back in prediction events pretty soon. Whoa! Did you guys see that? The guy just did a jump in place. He jumped and placed the block, I think. What's the timestamp on? Yeah, that's unique behavior, right? So, awesome. All right, enough of that. Let's get down to the infograph. Last week I talked about an action buffer and adding that in a separate neural network that processes the potential targets after the targets have been scored. I added that and it worked very well. Another thing that I decided to add after that was an accompanying item for every single action. So for example, if you were to mine something, the neural net would pass along an item in its inventory to mine with. If you were to place a block, you would select the block from your inventory that you intend to place. So the default neural net is no longer responsible for that decision. Same thing goes for attacking. If you're going to attack something, it would pass an item that it intends to use in its hand to attack with. And finally, with crafting, it passes along a recipe that it intends to craft, and we only feed in the potential recipes that it has the ability to craft already. So it's a very simple decision. So what we had to do is iterate through all items in the inventory and do the exact same thing that we did with the environment around it. This has a couple added benefits. When an action takes place and is stored in the action buffer, we can look back and see, did I try this item to mine this block? So for example, a neural net might try and mine a block of stone with a block of dirt. That's clearly not going to work. So that records that as a fail, and it can actually feed that information in when making decisions in the future. Okay, I've already failed at this. let's see. I've got a stick in my inventory. Okay, let's try to mine that stone with the stick. Nope, didn't work. Okay, finally I happen to have a actual tool, a wooden pickaxe. Let's try mining the stone with that. Ah, success, and the score was passed back from that action. So that information's all tracked now, allowing it to essentially learn in real time and have some semblance of memory. Though not as much as I'd like, but we're getting there. So the diagram you're looking at right now should look a lot like what I did last week, except instead of feeding in just the entities around it, you can see it's got the potential items in there as well. If you guys are having trouble following this, you may want to check out the video from last week about action target slots. Another thing we added in was the discovery score, I call it. It's basically rewards them for doing unique actions. So for example, if they just sit there digging dirt, they won't get rewarded after the first 3 blocks that they dig. If they just sit there placing dirt or digging it over and over again, they stop getting rewarded pretty quickly. But if they continue to do a diverse range of behaviors, like crafting new things or mining new things, then they get rewarded significantly. Over time, using this, we've seen some pretty interesting behaviors occur. One of those behaviors being the flower placing behavior that we saw at the very beginning of this video. I was very surprised by that. But there was a diverse amount of flowers there, so digging new flowers, different types of flowers, and placing them gave them that incentive. The interesting thing about this is that one of the reasons I chose to go with the neat approach versus some of the other more traditional reinforcement or cue learning where you learn to play like a player is that I want them to behave as diversely and as interesting as possible. 1, it's interesting to me, but 2, it also makes for good YouTube videos. So hopefully in the future, we will see some really unique behaviors out there. I have not punished them yet for doing redundant behaviors, but I am strongly tempted to penalize them, as marked by the red marks on the page there. Another thing to talk about is last week when I was talking about middle out scanning. And what this scanning does is start at the center and slowly build a sphere outwards. And you can see when it sees something solid, they haven't learned to defend themselves yet, but when it sees something solid, it stops scanning in that particular direction. Like there is actually, you can see past that block, but it doesn't go below that block. Everything that touches air is completely available to scan within that dome. So it could see creatures standing behind a wall that's not super tall, but it wouldn't see underneath the earth. Here's a view of it from the outside. It isn't actually quite a sphere, but it does the trick. Another thing that they can do now is to stop scanning it when they feel they've found a target that is appropriate. This allows them to identify threats and stop scanning and add actions in faster, instead of having to wait for the whole scan to finish up. Here's one that decided to stop scanning because it found a target that it wanted, that block there, I guess. And now those blocks as well. But he's found the block he wants and has begun to start digging. One of the more random behaviors that we found, and this is from a simulation that TNT Outburst, one of our patrons, ran, is that they've learned to attack themselves, which is kind of weird. It's a glitch in the code, of course, and I have since fixed it, but it's just another one of those interesting little behaviors that we never expected. So this next set of highlights is actually from the Twitch stream where I turned crafting into an action instead of an output. So it gets sent with an item, just like we discussed in the infograph. It took me a while to get that to work right, and a lot of craziness happened in the meantime. So here's the highlights. These guys are on fire now. I fixed something, and I'm not even fully sure what. But I fixed like a whole bunch of little things, nothing major. One thing could have been major. And they are on fire right now. Look at these guys today. We've got, the high score is 91 right now on a Gen 0. I'm not even sure what I fixed, but they are crazy active right now. Navigation still sucks, but that's fine. I can deal with that. So right now, pretty standard digging dirt. This is a Gen 0 though, so that's kind of cool. It's doing this quickly. Life end is still pretty high, and I dropped it down from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. Somebody can craft something. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna speed up this process in the name of science. Hey guys, it's raining logs. Go, take it. take that. Uh-oh. He is probably trying to attack me right now. There we go. He has a recipe. They have the ability. They now have selected a recipe. And it blew up. Take it. How did I end up with a daffodil? Alright, take the wood. Everybody take some wood. You get some wood, and you get some wood, and you get some wood. Oprah reference. And something blew up. They may have tried to craft right there. Wow, it's hitting it already. You guys like that I've got infinite night vision on? Instead of using the potion every 2 seconds, as I usually do. Man, look at what they've done with these trees. No, don't run away from me. Take the blocks. Craft things. You standing there. Craft stuff. You craft. Everybody craft. Don't attack me. Craft. You take that. The guy's eyeing me up like he wants to kill me. You take that. You take that. All of you. Some of you craft things. Oh, nobody wants to craft anything? I'm running out of wood. Someone craft stuff. They're placing the wood. There you go. 4 oak logs. Why not? Okay, so this should significantly increase the chance that they are going to craft something, and there we go. Someone already did it. Can we get to crafting? What? I forgot to add the code to craft. Oh, I'm losing my mind. I really do need to eat something here. Nice. We're almost there. Cannot craft Minecraft charcoal. Wait, where is that coming from? Cannot. No. Okay, so it's okay. I know what's going on. No, I don't know what's going on. I think somebody just crafted planks. Let's find out. Dang it. Son of a gun. All right, if you liked what you saw here today and you want to see more crazy experiments with neural networks in Minecraft or possibly other video games when I get there, let me know. Or like, share, subscribe. I don't know, do something. I'm losing my mind. If you guys are interested in being a patron, that always helps. Right now, patrons are definitely helping me keep these servers afloat to host this for you. If you're interested in installing it or trying it yourself, you can always do that. Hop on the Discord, plenty of people there to help you. Stay safe. Thank you for subscribing or watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
One way that I teach my dog never to out, or I should say one way I never teach my dog to out. Ernie,
no.
At this point, I'll never say out, because she's in the fight.
Ernie, no.
What I will do here is release the pressure, hold it still and say, ouse.
Ernie.
No, ouse. No.